Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. I am so excited today to share with you some tips and tricks on eye makeup that I picked up at my local MAC counter. I've been using these for about the last 7 to 10 days, and it really has upped my eye makeup game. I want to just take a moment and say thank you so much to my subscribers. Really, every single subscription just means so much to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider doing that? All right, on with the video. I expressed an interest in MAC paint pots because I've seen so many of the YouTubers I watch talk about them and use them. And so she brought me the color Painterly, which is really close to my skin tone. And this is what she used as a primer. I have been using it now for a little over a week, and I really like it. As you can see, it is very close to my skin tone, and it provides a nice, smooth canvas that really does help eyeshadow last longer. Then, what she did was bring out a MAC 217 brush. And let me just take a moment to talk about this brush. As you can see, the ferrule is pinched. It's like a thin rectangle. The bristles on the brush are a little on the longer side, and it's pretty stiff. The bristles are dense. So what this brush is going to do is be able to pick up a lot of eyeshadow because the bristles are so dense. The end is kind of narrow, so you can get some precision placement with it. Or if you use the side of the brush, you can get some pretty wide placement with it. I am going to use the e.l.f. New Classics palette today. And I am going to start with this color Blanc, which is a shimmer and a very light color. And this is very similar to what she used on the movable part of my lid, which is where she started. And what she said now is on this brush, we're gonna put the eyeshadow on about the top half of one side. So I'm working it in pretty vigorously, much more vigorously than I would. Of course, tap off. And now I am pressing into the movable part of my eyelid. And I will say one thing that she did that I have learned is she pressed much harder than I usually do. And what she did was she did one eye and then she had me do the other eye. And so while she got really great color payout, like I just did, when I did it, I kind of just got a wash of color. I didn't get nearly the color payout she did. And what I figured out was she was using much more force. And so you can see that I've got that color all over my lid, and it really is standing out. The next thing she did, taking that same 217 brush, was she did the crease. And now what she did is flip the brush over, and the color that she picked out for me is their Tete a Tint. And that is just a little bit darker than my skin tone, which is a really good crease color for a neutral look. And now what we're gonna do is, again, just on one side of the brush, work that in kind of to the whole side this time. Tap it off and you can see how much eyeshadow I've got on there. Now with that brush facing down and starting right at the place where the eyeball goes in underneath the brow bone, that little divot right there, starting there, and a windshield wiper movement, which is what we're used to in the crease, but staying on the outer third to outer half for the first several swipes to put the color in there, and then bringing it in. and working back and forth. And I'm moving up just a little bit onto the brow bone because of course there isn't color on the top side of the brush. It's only on the bottom side of the brush. And I am going to pick up a little bit more and do the same thing. Now we're going to pick up a darker color for the outer corners, and sticking with that same side of the brush that had the crease color because we're going darker, I am going to go in with this color Muse, which is a matte dark brown. And again, I'm only applying to one side and applying to the last half of the bristles. So you can see that line of demarcation there. And again, with the brush facing down, now I'm going to go to the outer, just the outer part of my lashes and work my way up to the crease again with little tiny Z wiper movements. And you can see I'm depositing that color out there. I'm going to work a little bit along the lash line and now a little bit into the crease. And I will now take a blending brush. This is a Sonia Kushak brush that I picked up at Target, and just blend that out. And I feel like I need some more out there. So go, when you get it done, if you're not liking it, go ahead and pick up some more and put a little bit more down. Now I see a couple things going on here. One, I'm making a hot mess out here. I have not set my foundation, so that should come off pretty easily. Two, can you see these vertical lines here? I was not very smooth on that crease, and that beautiful shimmer that I had on my lids, I've kind of obliterated. So let's fix those things one by one. I'm gonna go back into Blanc, and this time I'm just gonna use my finger, reapply on the movable part of my lid, and look how that just came back beautifully. That seems to have fixed that. Now I've overshot on my smokiness out here, so I'm just taking what was left on my brush and going right over that line to soften it so it's not quite so harsh. All right, now I'm going to take care of the fallout on my cheeks. Now if you have a stubborn spot that won't clean up, or maybe you want to clean up the line on the outside edge, this was another fabulous tip she gave me. Take a Q-tip and instead of using water, use just a little bit of eye cream, any eye cream. It will clean it up super easily and not destroy your makeup. See how clean that got? And I'm just going to do the other side now. Now let's do the lower lash line. So I've got a small tipped brush. I am going to go into that same crease color, the MAC crease color, and just creating a shadow and going 3/4 of the way across under my lash line. And now I'm just taking what was left on that 217 brush and doing the outer third and connect that up to that same color on the outer part of my upper lid. And I can use the blending brush just to smooth that out and distribute that color. Now I am taking a small angled brush and I'm going into Noir, the black color, and I'm going to do that along my lash line. Now she actually used eyeliner and did this same technique, really worked it in to the lash line. However, even though it was a very finely tipped eyeliner, it put down more product on the movable part of my lid than I would like for a daytime look. So I prefer this technique with powder for daytime. For a more dramatic or evening look, I'm more comfortable with kind of a more defined, a darker line, and this gives a smooth, soft definition to the eyes. All right, I'm gonna pop off, do mascara and whatnot, be right back. And there's my finished eye look. I'm gonna bring you in close so you can see the details. I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for joining me and have a really fantastic day.